Okay, this time we're working on the Magic Carpet Ride, the 76 Ford E250 Custom. One thing we're doing is changing the fluid and filter and the transmission. Once we have the transmission open, we're going to take care of some things like changing the shift lever. It has an aftermarket shift lever in it now, and I don't like it. So we're going to put a stock one back in it while we have the pan off, and then we can go ahead and change the fluid. So I'll show you what we're getting into right after this. Okay, so we're up under the van. There's the transmission. It is a TCI C6 transmission. When they remanufacture them, they change the shift lever here, cut off part of the factory part, and then add this lever on. The downfall of that is you can no longer use the neutral safety switch anymore. That's why it's kind of mounted half-ass up there, just to keep it out of the way so it ain't dangling under the van or anything. On a Chevy transmission, you can unbolt it right here. You take a nut off, and then you can take this off and you can switch them out. But on a Ford, it's made a little different. It's one piece. So for different applications, they'd have it in different areas. On a van, it goes like this, similar to that. So, and I think in a car with like a floor shifter, it goes straight up. And they probably had a few other setups for different applications. So the first thing I'm gonna do is drain the pan, pull it off. I'm gonna have to drop the valve body so I can get to the nut that holds the shaft in. And then once I do all of that, I'll probably go ahead and adjust the bands on it since I'm already down here. So luckily, since it's a TCI, it already has a drain plug in it. So I'll go ahead and get it draining. That way I won't make such a big mess when I take the pan off. Bring it back in after I have the pan off. Okay, so I got the pan off, just kind of letting things drip right now. Go ahead and give it a wipe down and pull off the filter, and then go from there. I have to take off the valve body, which is this part, so we can get to the nut that's up in here to take the shift lever out. Now, when I took the pan off, I was expecting it to be pretty dirty and whatnot. I have overheated the transmission a few times, so I wasn't surprised at any dirt, but there was extra pieces, so that's a little confusing. Show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the pan. That's a little nasty down in there. Here's my extra pieces. I have no idea what the hell that's for. Don't see any spot where that would even fit. Sure, it's important. I do know that a few years ago I came home one day and went to put it in park, and it wouldn't go in park. And the next time I drove it, it went into park fine, but you couldn't manually shift it in a second. So I'm sure it has something to do with that. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and start pulling more bolts out after everything drips a little bit, and then we'll get the filter out and the valve body, and we'll show you what's going on after that. Okay, I got the filter off of it. It looks pretty good. Better than I thought it would. Now I'm just gonna let this drip a little more. Then we'll pull off that valve body and make another big mess. And then we'll go from there. Alright, I got the valve body out. Keep it just like this and make sure I don't flip it over so I don't lose any check balls. A little bit ago we took the pan off and these pieces were in the pan. And now that I took the valve body off, I can see up in there and I see more things that need addressed. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so we're looking up into the transmission. It's still draining, so sorry about the noise, but here we go. This part right here is unhooked, and I don't remember what it looks like when it is hooked together, but I might have to research that. I know that's not right. Nothing's attached here. I know this is like the band, I'm pretty sure. Goes over here to the band adjustment. So I might have to figure that out, see if there's pieces missing or what's going on with it. Hopefully I can just put it back together and it'll work. So I'm just going to keep letting this drain. I think I only got about an hour of daylight left. So probably end up just putting the pan back on it for tonight and then work on it tomorrow. Hopefully I have some kind of idea how all this goes back together. Well, I think that's where we'll leave it for right now. I was just kidding. Let's go ahead and get this shift lever out before we lose our daylight. Alright, took off the little bracket that goes on here. It's for the kick down. So this piece can come out. And then there's a nut on the other end of this that we got to take out. So let's go ahead and do that. Get up under here. Get the light so we can see what's going on. Alright, here's that piece I just pushed in. That's for the kick down. Go ahead and pull that. No. Go ahead and move that back as far as we can. We'll go ahead and take this nut off. Okay, let's see. Can't get the wrench in there. Can we go? Maybe. There we go. I don't know what kind of angle you see, but there we go. Alright, the nut's off of there. So this, that should come loose. Now we can take the shift lever out. At least I should be able to. Yep. Okay. I think I'm gonna need both hands for that, so I'm gonna shut off the camera and do my thing. Okay, so I went ahead and put the pan back on the transmission. My drain pan's about full, so I'll go dump this real quick, and we're gonna have to move into the garage because I'm losing daylight and I got a few things that I can do yet. I might have to modify that shift lever a little bit, and I'll explain that once I get into the garage. Okay, so now we're in the garage. Here we got some of our parts laid out. This is the old filter, here's the new filter. Everything looks the same, so that's good. I got some books holding down my gasket to flatten it out. So when I'm ready to put everything back together, I won't have to fight with that. Got the book opened up, and then to the transmission section. And the last time I had a C6 transmission torn apart was last summer when I did the engine swap on the F100, and luckily I wrote down a bunch of torque specs, so I won't have to look those up again. It's for the valve body and for the filter bolts. And then we come to the shift levers, and here's the two shift levers I have. This is the one that came out of the transmission. It's like a universal kind of thing. Here you can see the original shift lever was right here, and they cut that off and added this piece. And that's handy for like race car stuff because you can adjust it with this, and you have all these adjustments here. But like I said before, that keeps you from using the neutral safety switch because it won't fit over here. So here's the other shift lever. It's out of an 85 Ford van. It's from the transmission that I put in the F100. I switched it out because I thought I was going to need the one that was in it, and then I ended up putting an aftermarket shifter in anyways. So Anyway, on the 76, it just has a hole in it like this, and then a piece goes through that and a little E-clip goes on it. And the 85 had a rod that popped into this little bushing clip thing that held it in there, and so now I gotta figure something out with that. I do have the original transmission over there. I could take that piece out, but I don't want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this clip out of here and then maybe try and weld a washer inside there. And then I hope that'll work. I think it will. So that's what I'm going to work on now, is trying to figure out how to make everything work together. That shouldn't be too big a problem. And then I got to do the research on all the loose pieces inside the transmission. And hopefully I can figure that out, put it back together, and have everything back together. Slap the pan on it and be done with it. And it'll work good. That'd be great. Well, I'm going to figure this out and we'll go from there. Okay, here's our shift lever. Changed it up a little bit. I got that plastic clip out. And I was thinking about welding one of these washers on there or something, because the hole was too big. But what I ended up doing was I took some copper pipe, cut a couple of thin slices and stuck in there, and then I soldered it together. So basically I just made a bushing for it. Should work fine. It made it the perfect size, so I'll just go from there, I guess. Okay, it's the next day. We're back under the van. Time to put stuff back together. Figured out what my extra pieces were that were in the bottom of the pan. It doesn't look like anything's missing. These pieces hold this band together, so I already got the adjustment screw loosened up, so we should be able to just put it back together pretty easy. This goes up here. One of these here. And the big cast iron looking one goes over on this side. Okay. Go ahead and turn that adjustment screw in. Now I need to adjust the band adjustment screw and torque it. It says 10 foot-pounds. I'm using the inch pounds, so that'd be 120 inch pounds. I gotta torque it down to that. Now I need to back that off 1.5 turns. Half, 1, half. And then tighten up the lock nut. It says to replace the lock nut because it has a seal on it, but nobody has one in stock, so we're gonna use what we got. Alright, got that tightened up. Hope that's right. Make sure this thing won't fall out again. I don't think it'll fall out. So we're gonna call that good enough. Alright, now what? Oh, we gotta put the shift lever back in. don't know how I got the wrench on there before to get it loosened, but I can't figure it out, so bear with me. Here we go. Alright, I had to move the camera so I could get in here and see what I was doing. I remembered how I took the nut off before. I took the wrench like this, slid it over here like this, and that's how I got it on the nut. So we'll go ahead and get this tightened down. Once this is tightened, then we can put the valve body on. Jump on the other side again. That should be good. Now I gotta, oh yeah, I gotta put a seal in that. What else? Put the lever on. Why is everything fighting me right now? There we go. Gonna tighten this enough to hold it in place, because I'm gonna have to take it off to hook up the neutral safety switch. That was kind of the whole idea of doing this anyways. Everything seems to work good. Go get that valve body and put it back on. Okay, here's our valve body. Get it back up there. Over here. I hate transmission fluid. It's my second least favorite fluid on a vehicle. First one would be gasoline. The crap goes right into your skin as soon as it touches you. Okay, we're gonna get this snugged up, and then I'll have to torque it. And these are 100 inch-pounds. Alright, find the torque wrench. 100 inch-pounds. That one's torqued. So let's go over here. I don't know if there's a sequence to it, but that one's good. That one's good. That's the one I did. That one's good. one's good. I think this is the last one. Okay. Now we can put on the filter. The gasket's real nice. Get one started. That'll kind of help get this gasket figured out. Can't see nothing. There we go. Alright. Get in there. Just work our way to the front, I guess. With this one. Gasket on over there. Can you tell? I can't see nothing. Try putting this one in. I see that one. On the other side real quick and make sure that gasket's where it's supposed to be. Yep, it's in the right spot. Are you bored yet? I'm getting there. Is that the same screw? Wrong screw. Horse shit. Butterfingers. Damn transmission fluid all over my hands. I don't care if it's just a little tiny dab and the next thing you know it's everywhere. Enough to make you go grr, for dang sure. Alright. Now it's starting to look like it's going together. Oh, that's a different size. Alright, so I wrote down on this torque on these 40 to 60 inch-pounds. Probably just go like 45 or 50, I guess. to do that now. Alright, I got it set at 45. Which isn't much. I think that was it. But such a light click. Yep, there we go. Okay, there's one. Let's do that one. Ding. This ain't a lot of room right here to get both my arms in. There we go. Did I do that one yet? I think I did. Let's try this one. That one. Did do that one. That one's good. Get the two 3/8 bolts. Gonna go a little more on these, 'cause I believe they hold the valve body too. Okay, that part's done. Now what? Right now, I think all I gotta do is hook up the shift linkage yet. And wait a minute, what's going on here? Maybe I can get to take it all back apart. Let me check that out. I'll bring you back in after I figure out what's going on. Okay, so I did have to take off the valve body again. I had the kick down lever in the wrong spot. So now we got it all back to where we started, and I think all I gotta do is put the pan on, and then we can fill it up with some fluid. The bolts on the pan, torque spec is I think 12 to 16 foot-pounds. I got my pan all cleaned up, ready to go. Okay, I got the pan bolted back on, torqued up. Last thing to do is the neutral safety switch. Since this thing's all greasy and grimy, I'm gonna clean it up. See if maybe I can get some kind of lube on the inside of here, because it's kind of crunchy. And we can slap that on, and then I think all of that is done except for fluid. So then we'll start adding fluid, and hopefully everything will work right. That'd be great. Well, I just checked for leaks. I checked the fluid level, and I still need another quart, but other than that, everything looks good. Can't wait to take it out for a rip. It's been a while since everything's worked right, so it'll be fun. Let's have a moment of silence for the Ford. Sounds pretty good, huh? Well, alright. As always, thanks for hanging out at Van Gogh Garage, where the vans hang out, in Little Carburetor Spring, Colorado. Thanks for watching. Bye.